Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So before we jump into this movie review, I just want to give a big shout out to Miss Darnisha and Miss Lydia. I went into my old job today and I saw Darnisha and it was just so great seeing her, and she told me that herself and my other angel, Miss Lydia, watched my video, so I just want to give a big shout out to you guys. And I'd also like to give a big shout out to all of my angels, Mama, Miss Natasha, everybody. I just miss you all so much, and we all have to get together and have an angels night out. Okay guys, so today we're going to be doing a movie review on Batman vs. Superman. And so my girlfriend called me and she told me that she got Batman vs. Superman. She is a very, very big Batman fanatic. She's got Batmobile and Batman blanket and a Batman pillow and everything like that. So she bought the movie and we watched it. So before I do get into this video is going to have spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie and you plan on seeing it, or you just hate spoilers in general, go ahead and click out of this video because I don't want anybody to get mad. So the main characters in Batman vs. Superman, Bruce Wayne, or Batman, was played by Ben Affleck. Now I have heard from many people that they didn't think Ben Affleck could be the Bruce Wayne that everybody knew and loved, but personally, I think he blew it out the freaking gate. He was strong, he was a badass, you know, he played it very well, very strong, very masculine, but still kind of had a little bit of a sensitive side. I mean, everybody knows Batman's backstory, Bruce Wayne's backstory. It was awful. And I really think he was like struggling to make the world a better place for Gotham. And so the next person is Henry Cavill. I'm so sorry if I pronounce his last name wrong. He played Superman, or Clark Kent, and he was the spitting image of what I would think Clark would look like. You know, from the older Supermans, he was just strong. He had his little dimpled chin, his slicked back hair. He just overall was Clark, was Superman. I couldn't see them picking a better Clark. Now, Gal Gadot, so sorry if I say her last name wrong as well, she played Wonder Woman. And she was just a bad ass, excuse my language. She was strong, very woman empowering, didn't need to rely on anybody. You know, she had her own back, and she played Wonder Woman so well. And going back to Clark Kent, Lois Lane, which was played by Amy Adams. I was a little thrown off when I saw that Amy Adams was playing Lois Lane. Don't get me wrong, I love Amy Adams as an actress. I love all the movies, you know, Leap Year, just love her as an actress. But I am kind of a movie critic, so when it comes to the people playing these characters, I kind of dig a little deeper and I'm like, can she really pull off Lois Lane? You know, she's Clark Kent's girl. Like, she's got to be from another dimension, you know? Well, she did. I thought she did a really good job. You know, she was there for Clark or Superman. She had his back. They loved each other. She played it really well. You can tell between the scenes when they were both together that there was so much chemistry between Henry and Amy. And it almost made you feel like that was actually Clark Kent and Lois Lane. So I honestly, the actors and actresses just did a phenomenal job. But of course, where there are good guys, there are bad guys. So let's talk a little bit about Lex Luthor, whom is played by Jesse Eisenberg. I've seen him in some other movies, and he's like the jokester, you know? Like, I couldn't necessarily see him playing a villain. But let me tell you something. he was creepy. He was absolutely creepy. You know how they say if somebody who plays a villain, if they make you love that villain even though you're not supposed to, then they're playing that role like spotless. And I actually did. I was actually like, I love his version of Lex Luthor and how evil and just like weird. And his like little like, when he moved his mouth, he'd be like, you know? And he would slur and he would forget his words. And it was just so, I mean, he played it creepy. Like, I was genuinely uncomfortable. So, from all the actors and actresses, I just want to say, not that they'll ever watch this, unfortunately, but I think overall, they couldn't have picked better people to play these roles. I was into it the whole time. I didn't want to even get up to go get a drink because I wanted to watch the movie. I genuinely wanted to find out what happened next. So with that aside, I'm going to jump into the actual movie now. Okay, so I'm not going to go into very much detail. I'm going to kind of be like a brief review. At the beginning, everybody knows Clark Kent or Superman is from Metropolis. And everybody knows that Bruce Wayne or Batman is from Gotham. So the way they have it set up in the movie is that Metropolis and Gotham are a few miles by boat between each other. They're basically like neighboring with a little bit of water in between cities. I thought that was kind of cool that they didn't kind of do it all around the world. It was kind of always there. But because we're so focused on Clark Kent or Bruce Wayne that it's not, you don't have to mention it because we're in one city. So I thought that was very smart. Now, I also thought it was cool how they did include each other in their stories. Like, we have, you know, in Gotham, Clark Kent or Superman is on the news about how he's destroying buildings, trying to fight this guy. And then we have in Metropolis, we see Batman or Bruce Wayne, you know, thinking that he's killing people and holding people hostage. So they both just think that they're bad guys. You know, and even their own cities are starting to think that what they're doing is doing more harm than it is doing good. So I thought that was a twist. And so right off the bat, we meet Lex, whom has his own company, you know, and he's just very weird, and he has this big, you know, house party and where he invites Bruce and Clark. And that's when you see Wonder Woman. However, you don't know that she is Wonder Woman at the time. And then you see Alfred. Now, in the older Batmans, Alfred is old. He's an elderly guy. You know, gray hair and more wrinkly. The actor for this Alfred was very young looking, almost the same age as Bruce. And I didn't really like that. I feel like they should have brought an older man to play Alfred. I'm not bagging on this actor. He played it well and he had his accent, but I was just visually looking for an older man. However, you know, Alfred has had Bruce's back since he was a kid because he basically had to raise him because everybody knows that his parents were shot when he was young. And I do want to say that Laura Cohan and Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Bruce Wayne's parents I was so happy to see that because I'm a very big Walking Dead fan. And Laura Cohan, if y'all don't know, she plays Maggie. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he plays Negan, which is new to the show right now. And seeing them, because they're enemies in the show, so seeing them together as, you know, a married couple, I was so excited. I was like a little kid came out of me. I just thought it was fantastic. But however, it is sad, Bruce Wayne's passed, you know, and Superman, which they didn't go into his past, what I've seen and from the comics, he wasn't born on Earth. He was born on another planet. Now, they didn't go into his back history because in the movie he has a mother whose name is Martha, which coincidentally happened to be Bruce's mother's name. And I kind of liked how they did that. I kind of liked how even though these two were on separate, cities and defended separate things, that they were still connected. And it had a deeper meaning than just their moms having the same name. So I really liked how they did that. And now back to Lex Luthor. He was just a very messed up in the head individual. And he knew what was going on between Clark and Bruce. So what he did was he used that to his advantage. And he kidnapped Clark's mother and told him that if he did not kill Bruce, he would kill his mother. Now, I don't know how much more messed up that can be, but that's pretty messed up. And so immediately Clark is very upset. He's scared, but he immediately goes to Bruce and does not want to fight. He wants him to know what's going on. However, Bruce has it in his mind that, Superman's this bad guy, and we just have to get rid of him before things get worse. So he gets kryptonite, which everybody knows is Superman's weakness, and he puts it in bullets, and he puts it in a spear, and he's just loaded down for this fight with Superman. So they go to fight, and Superman does not want to fight. He's trying to tell him what's going on. Batman's not listening, and he starts beating him, and that kryptonite is starting to weaken him, and he can cut him now and just really hurt him. And so Batman, is about to kill Superman. He has him down on the ground. He's got his foot on his neck. It's about to go down. And, I was on my edge of my seat. I was like, oh my God, Superman, come on. Let's put up a better fight than that. I love Batman, but I kind of expected maybe a bigger fight between the two. Anyways, Batman has his foot on Superman's neck and he's about to stab him with the kryptonite. Lois Lane runs in and is hovering over Superman, and Superman says Martha, which we all know that's his mother's name, as well as Bruce's mother's name. And Batman is like, why did you say that name? Why did you say that name? Why did you say that name? And he can't speak, obviously, because he's got his foot on his neck. And Lois is like, that's his mother's name. That's his mother's name. They're going to kill her. They're going to kill her. And so he immediately backs off. And, that hit really personal for him because it was his mother's name, And, of course, anything like that, you're going to protect. So he picks Superman up and he's like, you know what? This battle isn't between me and you. It's between us and Lex. So Bruce goes to where Martha is being kept and rescues her, while Clark goes to where Lex is to defeat him, basically. Well, Lex, being the messed up mind individual that he is already creating a mutant monster type of thing with his own blood. And he's big, and he's slimy, and he's ugly, and he's disgusting. And so they both start fighting him, this monster, until they find out that it feeds off energy. So the more you try to kill it, the bigger and the stronger it's going to be. And so Bruce is talking, Wonder Woman now enters the fight, and he says the only thing that can defeat you is kryptonite, so the only thing that can possibly defeat this monster is kryptonite. We need to stop him and kill him. And so Lois Lane, while Wonder Woman, Bruce, and Clark are fighting this monster, Lois runs back to this castle where they were fighting and goes to get the spear that Bruce has created. And while in there, some stones fall on her head because of the impact. It is condemning the castle. And she almost drowns. Well, of course, Clark comes and saves her just in the nick of time. Now, he pulls her out of the water and he jumps in. Now, we know even being near it, it weakens him. So he's already weakening, trying to fly. But before he flies off, there is a little scene between Clark and Lois where he is telling her that he loves her and that she is his world and he has to protect his world. Which we all know, I mean, I'm upset. She's upset, like, even though she's Batman all the way. It was just a very upsetting scene because you know something bad is about to happen. And so he's flying and he's weakening at the same time, and he stabs this monster, whom Clark is now very weak because he's been around kryptonite for a long time. This monster stabs him. Very upsetting. And so then Bruce is shooting off those bullets, and eventually they kill the monster. It's badass. They all three kill him. But this is a very, very big spoiler, so if you've listened this long and you still hate me and you hate spoilers, turn it off now. Turn it off. If you're still here, then you don't care what I'm about to say. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, you're still here. That was your warning. Clark Kent, Superman, dies. And I know what you're thinking. He can't die. He's a superhero. No. He dies. Very unfortunate. I was crying. It was just a very distressing scene to watch. It was very, very upsetting, and it broke my heart into a million pieces. And you see them all crowded around him, and then the screen goes black, and the next thing you see is his funeral. Oh, no, it's his funeral. And Lois is sitting in Clark's bed, and Martha, which is, Clark's mother, comes in and hands her a manila envelope. And in it was a ring. He was going to propose to her, and I started bawling. Tears, bawling. It was so sad, and she puts the ring on. And every time I see movies like that, I kind of play it into my own life, like, what if this was to happen to me? Kind of scenarios like that, and it was just very, very upsetting. And I always do that, and I'm a big blubber ball with a very soft heart. But whatever. So the next thing you see her standing out over his grave. They haven't, they put him down in the ground, but they haven't put the dirt on him yet. And, it's tradition to pick up a fist of dirt and throw it onto the casket before they put the rest of it. She's standing over it, and you can tell she's in pain. And I loved the way Amy made it seem like she was actually hurting, and she was actually in pain, like she had just lost a loved one. Love her acting there. And then over under a tree, you see Bruce and Wonder Woman. And he's like, I failed Clark in life, but I'm not going to fail him in death. We are going to avenge him. We are going to get rid of all this evil in this world, and we're going to make it right. And he was like, you need to find the others like you. And she looked at him, and she goes, others like me? And he was like, yes, it's time. And then we jump a little bit back to what happened to Lex Luthor, kind of while they're still talking. And he's had to get his head shaved. He is now in a maximum security prison to where they're about to take him out. I'm not sure why the officers are. And the lights start to flicker, and you see Bruce Wayne as Batman appear, telling him that he needs to watch his back. And Lex was pretty much like, oh, you think just because I'm in here that the whole world is going to be good? Like, you got something coming. Kind of like a foreshadowing type of deal. And so he immediately punches the wall, leaving a Batman symbol, which I thought was very cool. I like that he kind of branded, like, you need to watch your back, son. And he disappeared. And then the guards are also still gone, and then the gates close back up. So whatever he was going to do, he just didn't do it. So then it jumps back into the funeral, and you are getting a view from the hole in the ground up to see Lois. And then you see her throw the dirt, and she walks away. And then it shows him walking away, and then it clips back to his casket to where you can see the dirt start to levitate off the casket, in which the screen turns completely black and the credits come on. Now, let me tell you, I was on a roller coaster ride. I'm thinking, he died. My heart is broken. I love Superman. I love Batman. And they're just gonna throw him out the bus like that? But it was nice to see that, oh, it's not over yet. And I love movies that kind of leave with a cliffhanger because you know something else is coming. And I really liked that. And, you know, he's getting his strength back. It was just, the wind was knocked out of him, so to speak, and he's coming back. And I just was on a roller coaster. I was happy, I was sad, I was in on it, I was in on the fight, loved the actors like I said in the beginning of this video. It was just overall a really, really good movie. I have 2 thumbs up. I would recommend it, 5 out of 5 stars. Everything just spun together and glued together, but it worked. It worked. So, again, if you have the time and you've seen it, go watch it again. If you haven't seen it and you don't care about the spoilers I just said, go watch it. Because me speaking it is nothing to you actually seeing it, okay? It's phenomenal. Alright, beautifuls. This is the end of my video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this movie review / critique, kind of. If you loved it, go ahead and leave me a like, throw some comments down below, and make sure you subscribe because I have so many more reviews coming at you. And if you have any suggestions of what you'd like to see on my channel, go ahead and drop them down below Go ahead and drop them down below as well, and I will check them out. So thank you so much for all the support from all my angels and my family and my friends. I literally could not do this without you, so thank you. And until next time, mwah! Bye guys.